The first two super lifts are now in the dry dock as Enterprise CVN-80 comes to life. I'm Aaron Pritchett, and this is Focus NNS. We're here in the North Yard, the home of Big Blue, the iconic 1050 metric ton Goliath gantry crane, Dry Dock 12, and the final assembly platen, where the world's greatest shipbuilders proudly bring the U.S. Navy's aircraft carrier fleet to life, and where they most recently completed the first two super lifts for the highly anticipated Enterprise CVN-80. We'll take you along as this exciting journey begins. Plus,
gathering cargo.
Volunteering for one and all. From helping guide the workforce of the future with robots and technology to caring for Mother Earth with a little cleanup and spruce up along the James River waterfront for Earth Day 2022. And from the crack of a bottle to christen her, to making her meticulous trip toward the James River for flood and launch, New Jersey SSN 796 sets her sights on extensive testing as she gears up for sea trials and a date with the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. Those stories and more coming up, but first on deck, Enterprise's journey begins as the third Ford-class aircraft carrier takes shape right here in the North Yard. It's a process that officially kicked off in January of 2019 with the historic two-ship buy contract that secured the future of both CVN-80 and CVN-81 Doris Miller, that ultimately allows for a more predictable workload for both Newport News Shipbuilding and the thousands of suppliers from across the country, and has definitely re-energized our workforce as they set their sights on the work at hand, Enterprise first, and eventually portions of Doris Miller being erected in the same dry dock at the same time, as the two-ship buy build continues. But for now, the legacy and the legendary name Enterprise lives on, as the final assembly platen is definitely the place to be as CVN-80 comes to life.
It's always exciting to start a new carrier because whether you're a welder, you're a pipe fitter, you're a planner, whatever job you've got in the shipyard, there's no one else in the world that does it. There's no one else in the world that knows how to do it. I think early on in any program, when the effort is primarily on the engineering and planning side and material procurement, we get very impatient. We want to see sparks flying, we want to see steel go together. People don't realize there are literally millions of man-hours of work getting done, not only in engineering and in planning and material procurement, but all of our manufacturing shops have been working. Our steel production shops are full up, working wide open. We've been out here working now on the final assembly platen, for well over a year. So I think there's a lot of shipbuilding that happens that isn't really visible. I mean, when we bring the absolutely first pieces out on the platen, it's a big deal because we join the first pieces together. Seems a little melodramatic, but it's not. I mean, it really is because we get so involved in it, and it becomes a huge piece of your life, how these ships go together.
Very passionate about what we do out here and the importance of what we do. We're really starting to ramp up. It's wide open out here. You hear the grinders going, the needle guns going. We're constantly putting base A's together, making super lifts, and it's incredible out here to see everything come together.
This is where the foundation of the CVN-80 begins. So there's a lot of communication between shipbuilders and welders to try to build the ship. Once we finish fitting it up, the welders come behind us and they weld it up. It's a great feeling for me. Not just me, but my whole team, just watching it, the process of everything. And our ultimate goal is to get these units together. So to help a Big Blue, to get them put in our dry dock.
This one's a little bit more exciting than normal because it's the first carrier we've built in a fully digital environment. So we've had a 3D product model on 78 and 79, but now we've taken that through what we're calling our integrated digital shipbuilding. So now when you go on 80, rather than seeing a mechanic with a drawing and procedures, they'll have a tablet. And all that data is in that tablet, all brought together for that particular job, for that particular mechanic. And That's a huge change for us. It's a big technology leap where today in shipbuilding, it is still a lot of heavy industry, heavy work, it's hot, it's sweaty, but now that tablet and bringing that digital data down to the deck plate is going to be a big difference.
I got to work on the Kennedy for 2 years as it was finishing up construction. So I got to see like all the final stuff done to it. And now I'm out here getting to work on the Enterprise from start to finish. And it's just really cool to see, like, this is where the Kennedy started, and now we're starting the Enterprise and we're carrying on the legacy of the first Enterprise. And so there's a lot of pride in it.
These two super lifts coming up, 101 and 102, this sets the groundwork. These are the critical steps as far as building a carrier. When we're getting ready to pick up these lifts, this is just the fulfillment of the dream of CVN 80. It's the Enterprise continues, and now we get to pick this up and take it and set it in the dock. We'll put these in, and this right here is what starts everything. So we got to make sure these two are right, because everything will form off of those. If these are a little bit wrong, the whole ship will be wrong. So we have to make sure that we get these perfect. So that's our goal. Something special about the 101 is it has steel from CVN 65. So the legacy of CVN 65, the first nuclear-powered carrier, continues on. My dad was a plank owner on CVN 65. So I have already a sense of pride for this ship before we even get it going. So I'm excited about seeing this to completion.
You definitely have to be patient. It's definitely a process. It's not going to happen overnight, and you just have to remember that all these days and that turn into weeks, that turn into months, it's all going to be worth it in the end. Because one day the men and women in the Navy are going to be serving on it, and we have to do our part to keep them safe. We're building nuclear-powered warships out here, and there's a lot of pride in that because we're the only shipyard that builds aircraft carriers, and we take pride in our work, and we focus on the end goal, and we build each other up around us, and because we're all in this together, and at the end of the day, we all want to come out with a quality product.
A strong foundation is everything, and the shipbuilders who are on the forefront of building Enterprise CVN 80 are committed to the challenges and the successes that lie ahead over the next few years as she rises high above Dry Dock 12 and eventually joins the Navy's impressive new lineup of Ford-class aircraft carriers. Now, let's take a look at some other news from around the yard. Hard work pays off and was rewarded in March when Newport News Shipbuilding hosted commencement exercises for 170 graduates of the Apprentice School's class of 2021. The ceremony was held at Liberty Live Church in Hampton, Virginia.
Today is just the next step towards your leadership role at Newport News Shipbuilding, and we and our country need you today more than ever.
This year's commencement address was delivered by Karen Henneberger, Program Manager for New Ship Design at Naval Reactors, a joint Department of Energy and Department of Navy program.
You are the most important part of our business, national treasures. You provide our nation's capability to build, overhaul, repair, refuel, and inactivate nuclear-powered ships. We are a team. When you succeed, we all succeed.
In keeping with Apprentice School tradition, Chris Rose received the Homer L. Ferguson Award, which recognizes the graduate with the highest honors.
Always watch where you're stepping. Plan where you are going and put the journey before the destination. No matter what you're doing, the most important step is the next one. Once you know what you need to do, it's just a matter of logistics.
These 170 graduates are the future of Newport News Shipbuilding, and we look forward to their leadership and skills as they continue on their journey of shipbuilding.
I like the aspect of having education as well as a career, so I can still get paid to learn new things and everything, and I felt like that was a good take on my future.
Back together again, virtually and in person, as the two-day Aircraft Carrier Industrial Base Coalition Action Days event recently took place in Washington, D.C. This annual event allows suppliers from all across the country to meet, network, and more importantly, hear from Newport News shipbuilding leadership and the U.S. Navy on the progress and future of aircraft carriers. In addition, these ACIBC member companies meet with their congressional representatives to stress the difference they are making across the country by providing a strong industrial base and tens of thousands of jobs in their communities that help keep Americans safe by supplying the Navy the parts it needs to build aircraft carriers. If only we could travel back in time. That wish will come true for future John F. Kennedy's CVN-79 sailors, thanks to a time capsule that was recently installed inside the flight deck control room. As Newport News Shipbuilding's CVN-79 topside construction director Dave White and the ship's first commanding officer Captain Todd Marzano placed several items including coins from a 2019 mass stepping ceremony, a letter from ship sponsor and John F. Kennedy's daughter Caroline Kennedy, letters to future ship leaders, a face mask to represent the COVID-19 pandemic, and other memorabilia.
It's always an honor when I get to participate in these milestone events, which are signifying great progress as we prepare to deliver this ship to the fleet so we can serve our nation for many, many generations to come.
Newport News Shipbuilding welder Cyrus Canty and fitter John Lee were chosen to do the honors of encapsulating the items, and Lee explains the special connection he has to the ship's island.
Participating in the sealing of the time capsule means a lot to me because I've been working on the island since it was brought to the final assembly pattern. So it was actually very important to me to be a part of this ceremony today.
The time capsule is set to be opened during Kennedy's midlife refueling and complex overhaul, or RCOH, in 25 years. There once was a time when we thought of robots as a thing of the future. That's not the case anymore. Recently, middle and high school students from across Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. gathered at the Hampton Coliseum for the 2022 First Chesapeake Robotics District Championships. Student teams designed, built, programmed, and tested remote-controlled robots to participate in the competition. The event was sponsored by Newport News Shipbuilding and included 140 teams and was supported by 48 Newport News Shipbuilding employee volunteers.
When we engage and volunteer to do these type of activities, it gives a sense of pride and ability to give back to the community. Being a part of the shipyard and seeing the workforce of the future, the students, right, high school and middle school, they are our future. So it's good to see them apply themselves.
From one volunteer opportunity to another, as shipbuilders recently took their efforts outdoors, all in an effort to help Mother Earth. Crystal Langston joins us now as we continue around the yard to tell us more about Earth Day 2022.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm super excited to say dozens of shipbuilders came over here to Victory Landing Park to participate in this year's Earth Day cleanup event. Whether it was picking up trash from the beach or grabbing a shovel to spread mulch, shipbuilders showed up and showed out to not only celebrate our Earth, but to give back to the Newport News community as a whole.
Earth Day means so much to me, and the reason why we should be out here because it signifies one day, but we should take this one day and incorporate it into our daily lives.
It goes beyond just us individually. It's about keeping the Earth clean and investing our time and resources to protecting our planet, the Earth.
It's only one planet, Earth, that we live, and I want to take care of it and make it look beautiful.
It's great to be out here after having to skip a year because of the pandemic. And things like working around in the parks, a lot of times it was neglected because people were afraid to get out and do things and be in the community and be with each other. But now we can be with each other. It makes a big difference.
Today I was doing a little bit of everything. I went down to the beach front and picked up some trash, and then also came down here and spread some mulch around the trees and the flower beds. So it was nice.
Just to come out here and be able to make a difference, clean up, and also just to be out with our fellow shipbuilders, that's a lot of fun. I mean, you work hard, as you can tell, so it's enjoyable. It's important for NNS to do this because, one, it shows that we care about the community and care about the environment. There's so many things that we do inside the shipyard as far as for the environment. You know, pollution prevention, try to minimize our waste, try to look for substitutes for hazardous materials, but the general public can't see that. they don't know.
NNS Shipbuilding really cares about Newport News as a whole, and they want the community to not only be a positive place to live, but also look beautiful as well.
We did multiple cleanups this year. It was very exciting, and that was just reaching out to different departments and divisions on what we could do to bring some environmental awareness or do something helpful for the environment or the community in regards to beautification or just cleanup. So it was really great this year.
Earth Day 2022 was a success. I'm glad I came out here and got to network with some people and meet some people from different departments, and I'm glad I did it.
Next year, we're going to keep coming out, and hopefully we'll expand the programs, do more, and look for more ways to make a difference out in the community.
This is just one of the many ways you can volunteer here at NNS. To learn more, visit nns.yourcause.com. For Focus NNS, I'm Crystal Langston. Back to you, Aaron.
Thanks, Crystal. The Virginia-class submarine program is one like no other, as the incredible work that goes into building one of the most complex ships on the planet is quite a marvel, requires commitment, dedication, and no room for error. Well, recently there were two reasons to celebrate, as one joined the fleet and the other took three important steps closer toward delivery. First up, the commissioning of USS Delaware SSN 791 on April 2nd in Wilmington, Delaware. Newport News Shipbuilding delivered the Virginia-class submarine back in 2019, but due to COVID restrictions in place at the time, there was no traditional ceremony held when Delaware was commissioned administratively on April 4th, 2020. On that day, the submarine was underway and became the first U.S. Navy ship commissioned while submerged. This ceremony followed the script of a traditional commissioning in every way and was held in commemoration of the milestones, as the ship's sponsor, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, performed the traditional honor of calling for the crew to man the ship and bring her to life.
We are proud to serve in America's Navy.
From Delaware SSN 791 reaching the finish line to New Jersey SSN 796 still in the race. Time sure does fly from the christening back in November of 2020 to now, as she recently got to experience the outside world and a dip into the James River for the very first time, as New Jersey officially rolled out of the modular outfitting facility to travel the length of just about 3 football fields and experience flood and launch here at Newport News Shipbuilding. Quite a remarkable process, a sight to see, and one that our shipbuilders are so good at executing, as New Jersey SSN 796 will now undergo rigorous and extensive testing as she gears up for sea trials in the near future. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Focus NNS. Remember, check out our weekly publication Currents for the latest shipyard news, and download our free app, NNS To Go. It's available in the Google and Apple stores on your smartphones and tablets. Keep up to date with all of our latest videos and spectacular photos on all of our social media channels. And if you've enjoyed this edition of Focus NNS and are interested in making the commitment to start or even further your career at Newport News Shipbuilding, check out buildyourcareer.com, where we have plenty of opportunities for you to explore. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'm Aaron Pritchett.